Welcome to the only show bringing cops and the community together for some real talk and some real listening. This is uncut. This is uncensored. This is Black and Blue Live. Welcome everybody to Black and Blue Live. How you guys doing out there? My name is Dale. I'm the host. Who's that over there? We all know who that is. That's Elizabeth. What's going on, young lady?
Hello, family. Hello, Dale. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just trying to chill out today, do my manly duty and just chill here and worship all the ladies out there that are mothers. And that's why we're here to pay homage and celebrate mamas out there. So, yeah, that's what today's show's about. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm enjoying not cooking this weekend. It's going to be like a chicken wing and french fry weekend and pajamas kind of
Uh-oh.
day.
Okay.
Tomorrow, because it's Mother's Day. And so,
Because his
yes,
mother's, yes.
might throw in a little Tupac, dear mama. I don't know. We just
Nah.
going to play it by ear.
All right, so everybody, I'm glad you guys are out here with us. Everybody that's watching this right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and now LinkedIn. We are on LinkedIn now, so everybody on LinkedIn, thank you for joining us here today. We're gonna have some fun today. Thank you for joining us. We're gonna have some real fun with some mamas out here. We're gonna pay homage to our own mothers real quick though. Let me bring up our little thing here. So what I'm going to do is we are live, remember that? All right.
And we fancy.
And we fancy too, yes, indeed. So, all right, so what we're going to do, we got some guests here and they're going to, one of them's a mother, the other guest here, his mother couldn't make it, but he's going to talk up his mama like a storm as he should, as a good son he should, and as a good son I am, and as a good daughter you are, Elizabeth. We're going to surprise our own mothers on this broadcast with you guys. So let me call up my mama. She gonna probably kill me for doing this, but hey.
I would.
So here we go. We gonna call up Mama Peters first. That's her right there.
And she's gorgeous. You're going to get a whooping, Dale.
Hello.
Hey mom, how you doing? This is your one and only lovely son, Dale. How are you? You are live on Black and Blue right now. Say hi to everybody. We wanted to say hi to
Hello,
you.
everyone.
How are you? What are you doing, Mom? We got a picture of you
Well,
holding a cake. You're not eating cake right now, are you?
no, but as a matter of fact, I have your show on.
Oh, so you go.
Aww.
See, that's my mama right there. So I'm showing some pictures. That's my mama back in the day. She was looking fly, wasn't she? Yes,
Yes,
she
she
still looks
is.
Hey,
fly.
wait a minute. It wasn't that far back.
it, wa-
Yes, mama.
it wasn't that far back. And here's her at my police academy graduation. You see her and I right
Wow.
there. Yeah. And then this one here.
No,
Yes. And then this one here
that was
is
Columbus,
recently.
Ohio.
Yes, that was Columbus,
Now
Ohio
there
back
it
in
is.
yeah. Yeah. And this is a picture of us right now. So if you're watching mom, there's probably a little delay. So that's what you're doing. Just listen to us. If you ever get on the radio and they tell you turn down your radio, that's why, because there's a delay. So just listen to us and you can watch us later. We just wanted to say hi to you and wish you a happy Mother's Day. I will see you tomorrow and we're going to
All
get on with
right.
the show. But thank you. I love you, Mom.
Happy
Thank you.
Mother's
Love you too.
Day.
Bye
We'll
bye.
see you
Thanks.
tomorrow. Bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, wow.
Aww.
Yes. That's
Sweetheart.
my mama. That's my mama, y'all. So
Aww.
next up,
That's
let's
where you get your sweetness from.
that's what you know this. You know this. Come on now. And next up, we're gonna call you. I'll let you speak all to her yourself.
Okay.
Here is Mama Green.
Oh wow, what a resemblance.
Hope she answers.
Let's see your answer.
She
I
not
have
gonna
to.
answer. She don't know this number.
She like, I don't know you like that. Let's
Uh,
Hello.
see. Oh,
What?
mommy,
Hello.
mommy, what you doing?
All right. Hey, is this the
Happy.
call?
This is This is the
I'm on the
call. You're
call.
on live. You're on the call. You're
You are
live on
live,
Black
Mama
and
Green.
Blue.
Oh
Bishop
Lord,
Green.
what y'all up to? What are y'all up to?
We're here to say
We
Happy
just called.
Mother's Day to you.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. You are live right now to the millions of viewers across this world of ours. So just say hi to everybody. Here's another beautiful pic of Bishop Green right there. So these
All right,
pictures,
hello
yeah,
everybody.
thank you. Yeah, these are pictures
Happy
your
Mother's
daughter
Day.
got us. So
Yeah, that's the look that I grew up with all the time. And it's the caption with that is I'm the mother. That
yes,
is that look. I'm
for
the
I feel
real.
that.
mother.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm about that.
All right, Mama Green. Thank you. You have a wonderful day today and tomorrow. And we just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you so much.
All right, you take
I
care
love
now.
you, mommy.
All right. I
All
love
right.
you too. Bye bye.
Bye.
Wow, that was dope, huh? That was real cool. Let me get back to us real quick before I introduce our guest here. I got a little premature there. Yes, that was fun. That was fun. But we got a couple guests here that are also going to talk about their mamas. One of them is a mother. Well, real quick, I wanted to say to you, Lizzie, Happy Mother's Day because you are a mother as well,
Thank
right?
you. Yes, I
Yes, you
am.
are a mother as well. So I wanted to say what's up with that. Also, I wanted to real quick before we move on. Sorry, our guest, but I also wanted to pay homage to the producer of the show, who's usually running the boards and the comments, but today she is out doing her motherly duties. That's my wife, the mother of my children. She's the things opened up here recently in California, the amusement parks, and she's taken our daughter and her friends over to Six Flags Magic Mountain. So let me show all you guys her. That's
Yes,
producer
gorgeous
Liz.
Liz.
Very
That's
nice.
Liz right
Beautiful.
there. So, all right, and that's
Happy
her.
Mother's
She
Day.
gonna kill me for putting this one up there. So, but that's Liz right there. So, thank you. I love you, baby. So, without further ado, let's get the show on the road here. We got some guests that are joining us here. Our first guest here, they are out in Tempe, Arizona. Everybody, please help us welcome in Linda and Lindsay McCall.
Thank you for joining us.
There
Thank
they
you for
are.
having us.
How you fine ladies doing?
We are doing really well today. And actually, we live in Phoenix, and it has gotten hot here recently.
Already,
So,
huh?
already.
Already. All right. Well,
And my
you stay
name is
cool in the
Linda
house.
Lou. My name is Linda Lou. Oh, Lord.
Linda Lou. Okay. I'm sorry.
I got
Linda
this
Lou
talking.
McCall and Lindsay McCall. Okay. Thank you for
Linda
that
McCall
correction.
Long. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And next guest here, he is out on the other side of the country on the East Coast, out in Virginia. Everybody, please help us welcome in Merritt Cassell.
How's everybody doing? Thank you for having me. Thank you, Dale. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you for
Good to have you,
joining
man.
us.
Yeah, sorry your mother couldn't make it. I put there up on the screen that your mother is unavailable, but you're going to do your best as the good son you are to talk her up today, right?
Oh, I'm going to channel my mother. Trust me.
Yes, let's do that. All right. So thank you for joining us. Let's get on to the show here. Here we go. All right. So again, we appreciate everybody for joining us here on all the social platforms. Let's see. We got Ty Dennis wanted to give us a big hands up, thumbs up right there. So thank you, Ty. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody for viewing. What we're going to get in. We're going to get into some good stuff here today. What's going on, everybody? Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. Happy Mother's Day to you, ladies, indeed. And to your mother. Maybe she's going to be watching, Merritt. Maybe she could check out the broadcast a little bit later, right?
Oh, she definitely will. She'll be
Yeah.
interested to hear what I have to say.
I'm sure. So let's get into it real quick. So Lindsay and Linda, tell everybody, a little bit about you. Well, real quick, Lindsay, tell everybody about you. This is the Black and Blue podcast. We kind of start off with law enforcement, and then we branch out a little bit. So you were a police officer. Tell everybody about that. And then Linda Lou, tell everybody about yourself.
I was in law enforcement for 17 years. I started out in Georgia at Gwinnett County Police Department, and then I transferred from humid Georgia to hot Arizona, and I worked for Paradise Valley Police Department for a bit, and then I finished up my career in Tempe Police Department in Tempe, Arizona, and I actually medically retired last August. Myself and my zone partner were involved in a shooting in October 2018. Luckily, my partner was able to return back to work, but unfortunately, my injuries were such that I could not return back to work. So now I'm doing my stay-at-home mom thing and spending time with my husband and my 2 kids and my mom, smile, and the rest of my family and friends out here.
All right. Well, I'm glad you are okay. You know, a little worse for wear, but you are okay, and you're here to be able to get onto the show with us. And Miss Linda Lou, tell everybody about yourself.
Well, I'm the only square on the call. I've worked
That's
in
not
the
true.
well, y'all are cops.
We're
I'm
not. We're squares.
Oh,
Yes, we the
yeah, y'all
squares.
squares. That's right. I've worked in the record industry for 51 years. I'm a songwriter, and right now I do music business consulting for hip hop artists.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's
Yes, you do
amazing.
for hip hop artists. Okay. Can are you at liberty to tell anybody, tell us anybody that you've worked with or working with currently?
There's probably nobody that I've not worked with. I worked as MC Hammer, Diddy, Jay-Z, you name it, I did it. So, yeah.
All right. Well, yes, and we got some things to talk about then. But before we get into that, Merritt, why don't you tell everybody about yourself real quick?
Sure. For one, thanks for having me again. Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there listening. My name's Merritt Cassell, originally from El Salvador. Came here when I was 5 years old, adopted by my mother, who actually went to El Salvador to, in a sense, kind of scout me out. Found me in an orphanage through her sister, who was down there during war, helping, I guess, with some infrastructure stuff in the war that was down there. And I came here when I was 5, and then my mom, she was actually on the police department that I worked for 20 years. And so she actually integrated the police department. She was the first woman to integrate the police department here in Northern Virginia. It's a pretty large department. And yeah, so she did that in 1972. And then if you saw a picture of my mom, you'd probably see her and be like, how is this woman a police officer? But it's probably one of the most feistiest woman I've ever been around. I mean, just even a mother. So she was a single mother at that after 3rd grade. And she's been an amazing influence in my life as far as not only how I do work, as far as just work ethic and all that, but just even in the aspect of like breaking barriers, because that's what
Yep.
she did. And so, those are things that in my police department is about 1,400 sworn, not too many brown and black people in the department. So you kind of know each other. So obviously, me being from El Salvador, it's like you kind of give that Latino nod when you walk past another Latin. You all know each other. So, but anyways, but yeah. So my mom is definitely an incredible influence. She, at one point, was the highest ranking woman police officer when she made, I think, the rank of corporal in the Washington, D.C. area.
Wow.
Wow. All right. Well,
Yeah.
hats
That's
off to your
good.
mother. Yes. And then
Appreciate
and
that.
then how long were you there?
I was there 20 years. So I retired. I was retired as a sergeant. I worked in a lot of different areas. I've worked in, we call it like a bike unit, but they call it neighborhood patrol unit, which is kind of a jack of all trades, master of none.
Right.
But you do vice. We did narcotics. We did a lot of good stuff. And then I retired. I was in 2.5 years. I was the sergeant for our gang unit. And in the region I'm in, we specifically worked MS-13, which was the outside of California, or I'm sorry, outside of El Salvador, this region, the DC region, and especially where I worked in the county, as the largest number of MS-13 gang members in outside of El Salvador. So it was pretty busy, and yeah, it was crazy. So that was
Wow.
pretty much my career.
All right. Right. Well, thank you for making it as well, unscathed. I got a few more years, 4 more years, and then I'm pulling it. And Elizabeth, how much longer you got?
I don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna be here for a minute. I'm gonna be here for a minute. Okay.
But we thank everybody for joining us on the show real quick. So the McCalls, what's the family makeup of you guys? So it was Lindsay and who else is in that in your immediate family right there?
I was raised, it was my mom, my dad who passed away when I was 17. And then I also have 2 brothers. So, nice little, we had some fun. I like being the big sister though. I've
Okay,
been told.
Mom, you rolled your eyes.
Yes, yeah.
Spill the
Why-
tea,
why you-
Mom.
They are a hot mess. She's the big little sister.
Well,
She's the oldest, but she's the littlest. The guys stand up over her.
yeah, but I gotta,
But you're the one
I
with-
gotta set the tone.
You have the gun though.
So I had the
Yeah.
gun.
She had the gun.
Yeah, not anymore. But yeah, so that, and we had, some pets and things like that growing up. And we were lucky enough I was born in the Bay Area in Vallejo, California. So we were lucky enough to grow up around my dad's family originally. And then we moved to the DC, Maryland area when I was about 5 or 6. And so then my mom is from DC. So we got to grow up around my DC family as well. So that was nice.
All right.
What part
And then-
of DC?
Northwest Washington, up there by Walter Reed.
Okay, yeah, very
That's where I
nice
was
area.
born
So
and
you're familiar
raised.
with this area? You're familiar
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the
My
East- Northern
my
Virginia
dad's
area.
family. My dad's family has been in the Washington D.C. area since the late 1700s.
Oh wow.
Down in the
awesome.
Charlotte area.
Wow. So now I'm the odd one out because off air we were talking about Elizabeth was born there. Her dad went to school there. Now her son's going to school there, and yeah, I got some people there, but I've only been there once. But wow, we got some history here, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
It's good to see that.
It was a nice place to grow up, especially in elementary school. Me and my younger brother talk about it, sometimes where we actually got to go visit a lot of the places you learn about in American history, which was nice. And even if you had to drive, we lived in Gaithersburg and New Carrollton for a bit, but you can go to Virginia. I remember taking field trips to Philadelphia. So it was nice just to be able to zip up and down, the coast for some of those field trips, and those places that you learned about in class came to life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And real quick, another comment. Ty Hunter Jr. on Facebook asks, he wants to know if you are related to a Charles F. Long. Does anybody know a Charles F. Long?
I would have to ask my husband, since that is his last name, but I don't know, and he has a lot of family, so I would have to check with him.
All right. Is he from the DC area or Arizona? Where'd you guys meet?
Actually, he's originally from Oakland, California, but we met in Georgia when I was working for my first police department. So, funny thing about that is he worked for Target. He was the loss prevention guy, so I would come and arrest his shoplifters. And we got to chit-chatting, found out he was born in Oakland. I was born in Vallejo. Then one day we found out we lived in the same city, but 2 years apart and across the street from each other. We had both lived in Fremont, California.
Wow.
Which I thought was crazy.
Yes. And then, and Merritt, what was your household like?
Man, I'll tell you what. I always remember when I was growing up, every time I left the house, especially when I was in high school and got of age where I just could, drive around. I remember my mom being the police officer that she was. She said 3 things to me every single time I left the house. She said, don't get drunk. This is at 16, 17. Don't get drunk.
She knew.
Yeah. Don't get drunk. Don't drive if you've been drinking, right? And then the last one, which is me being 16, 17-year-old male, she said, don't get anybody pregnant.
Yep.
Don't
Yep.
get anybody pregnant.
Yep.
That
Been
was
there,
every single
did that.
time. I could have been going to play basketball at a pickup gym. I could have been doing whatever. Those are the three
Yeah.
things my mom would say to me every single time I left the house.
Yep. Yep.
So-
Y'all
Don't drink.
guys
I don't
Don't
know.
drink and drive, and don't get nobody pregnant.
pregnant,
Exactly.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Not,
That's good
not
advice.
have a
Don't
good
get
time.
pregnant. Yeah.
What's
yeah, it's
that?
not. Go ahead.
No,
Wow.
I didn't hear.
Yeah, they didn't hear you either, but no biggie. Wow. So yeah, that's some good words to live by. Don't get nobody pregnant while you're a teenager. Did it work though?
Of course.
Okay.
I got a 5-year-old who's upstairs right now, but I'm not with mom, so she is telling me don't get anybody pregnant because those days are long gone. So
Yeah. Hey, brother, been there, done that. I know. So, all right. So,
well, my mom had to be a hard hand, right? She had to be a mother, but she also had to be a father in a sense. So she had to bring a lot of discipline, and she had to be that heavy hand. And I didn't have that heavy hand because my adoptive father left when I was in 3rd grade. So, she had to take care of all that. I remember waking up, and I'm sorry to take the time, but I remember waking up in the back of her cruiser because at the time she was a captain. So she had call. So she was the duty officer. And so when she got called out to these major scenes, she didn't have anybody to look after me. So she had to put me in the back of her cruiser. And there were times where I would literally wake up as a 8, 9-year-old in the back of a cruiser looking at lights and looking at all these crazy scenes, accident scenes, whatever it is. So I remember that vividly.
Wow. And Linda Lou, you said that your ex-husband, former husband, was a part of a major R&B group that I know and love. Tell everybody about that and what your life was like back when you guys were together and raising kids.
Yeah, my husband was the founder and drummer of the group Confunction, so he toured a lot at the early part of our marriage. So I didn't have any children at first, because we were always on the road. So, and we were living in California at the time. He was gone a lot, so I had to raise these pretty much by myself. He was a good father, though. I was the hard hand. After he died, I found out all the shenanigans that, like driving my car.
True.
Yeah, he let y'all drive my car when they were like 8 or something.
10. It was 10.
Yeah. So yeah, I was the hard hand. Louis was he was a fun father. He was really silly. So we moved a lot. We started out in Vallejo, then we moved back to Washington. Then I got a job with MC Hammer and went back to California. Then we went to LA with Hammer. And then we ended up in Atlanta. And I promised her whatever school she started with, she would graduate because we had moved so much. So we were down there for 15 years till we came out here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
yeah, their father was he died in 1997 when she was 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I pretty much had to do it, but he had put his hand in it.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good dad. So
Wow. Sound like an army brat
yeah,
moving around.
that's exactly what it was.
That's what people used to ask me a lot. By the time I got to my high school, that was the 12th school I'd been to. And people would ask all the time, "Are your parents in the military?" And I'm like, "No, the music business."
Yeah.
But
We had to chase that bag. We had to go where the money was. So yeah.
Wow, I love you, Mama Linda Lou.
Yeah,
Chasing
that
that
clothes
bag, huh?
packed up quick. I was chasing that bag. Remember I left you on your birthday to work for Hammer?
sure did. Night of my 10th birthday, I'll never forget it.
Sure
I'm still
did.
talking to my therapist about it now, but it's okay.
Chase that bag.
Chasing
Sorry.
that bag. Yeah, women are the mothers are the bedrock of the home. Even we saw my mom earlier. She's a single mom, so she raised me on her own. And then we saw a picture of my wife as well. And then she's when I was off doing narcotics and having to leave at 3 o'clock in the morning or 16, 18-hour days, she was the one raising the kids. And as like I said earlier, she's out driving our kids our daughter 2 hours away is Magic Mountain is, Lisbon. So she's taking our daughter out there. Yeah, so she's a good mama. So yes, indeed. And my mama, she's watching the show. She says that's where. Yeah, my mama says she recognized you, Miss Linda Lou, from Confunction. Yeah,
There you go.
she says she recognized you. That's
Oh, okay. Hi, Mom. No, I was about to say, my parents were together 63 years. And I'm one of 6 children, and my mother was still the one. She worked a full-time job, and my father was in the home, very hands-on, but my mom did everything. And I think that's just what we do. It's no shade on you guys, but whatever.
But
hey, we know.
Miss Linda Lou, did you have Merrick Cassell's mom gave him advice. What was the advice you gave to Lindsay in comparison to maybe the advice you gave to your sons?
Oh my God. Well, my son, I didn't give him any advice. I bought him a large box of Lifestyle.
Okay.
Condoms.
Okay.
Big box. I went to the factory, and because the boys, you can't be chasing the boys down.
So for some of our viewers that don't know what lifestyles are, you mind elaborating?
Trojans.
Okay.
Yeah, he said he needed Magnum, but I told him I was married to your daddy.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So.
And she said she was nervous. Okay.
But with her,
goodness.
I didn't have any problems with Lindsay at all. She was the best child. No, she wasn't the best child. She was stubborn. Yeah, but I never had, when girls get 13, and I never had, but then I told you I'd kill you, though.
This is true.
Yeah.
So listen, there were a lot of threats growing up. So she's trying to skirt around it. So in my mind, she knew everything I was going to do. So she basically told me, if you do anything at all, I will always know. And I believed her. So I was the most boring teenager. I tell people that all the time. And so I did nothing. I was the kid that stayed home. She used to try to make me go to parties and stuff, but I'm like, it's cool. I'll just sit here and watch X-Files. I'm okay. I'm not going to be running the streets. And that's pretty much me all throughout high school. So I didn't want to get in trouble.
Well, yeah. Well, the only advice I gave her was, because I know kids are going to do what kids are going to do. If you get pregnant, let me know. That's all I asked her to do. Just let me know, because I did not want her to be having a baby in a closet by herself. But remember, I used to always make you pull your shirt up. I needed to check that stomach every week.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she was on it. So there were no secrets. So, but yeah, and it was, I didn't really have a want to do a lot of stuff because silly things happen to me. Like, I don't have bad luck, but I have dumb luck. So when I was in high school, she worked from home. So people would talk about skipping school. And I'm like, nah, I can't do that, because it'd be that time we're walking down the street, skipping school, and my mother's driving to go meet a client. And now I'm stuck like Chuck, looking crazy. So I'll pass. I'll just stay here. Y'all tell me about the fun after school today.
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't having it. I just wasn't having it. But she was good. My son was pretty good. I didn't have any problems with him. And then we also have a stepson, my husband's son. And Dominic, we met Dominic, he's like 27. He's an absolute great child. So I'm really blessed to have 2 really good boys, and men. They're boys to me, and this thing over here. Yeah.
Say what?
Yeah.
And this thing over here, huh?
Right.
Yeah. So
I don't
real
feel so bad.
Yeah.
Like, I tell I have 2 babies. I have my son and I have my bonus baby. And about my son, I asked him, I said, what are the things you remember? And it was very close to what Miss Linda Lou did. Number one, don't embarrass me. Two, I'll bury you in the backyard and make another one if you mess up. And that's it. And
That's
so
it.
I feel like I'm going to be in a good place to have some good kids.
No, I used to tell them, well, people used to always ask me that met my children, what is your secret? You have the best children in the world. And I would tell them, I look good in orange. And this is long before orange is the new black. I let people know I would go to jail before I let the streets take my kids. Don't tell me I can hit them. I go through their stuff out of our privacy. Remember, you asked me for an allowance, and I told you I allowed you to live in my house?
Facts.
Yeah.
Sound like my mama. Sound like my mama.
Just like my mama.
Mm-hmm.
She said, we'd be like, we're going to call the police. You got to get to the phone.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what my mama said.
No, I gave them the number to the homicide department. They didn't know 911. I gave them the homicide department because they were going to need a small body bag and a homicide detective. If they open their mouth or talk back to me, I was not playing.
And we turned out good.
Yeah.
Because of the threats.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, I could keep a job and pass the background and love people and be a productive citizen because my parents understood rules and regulations.
Facts.
Parenting. It's called parenting. This nonsense about you can't talk to kids, you can't take their phone. I'm going to jail because I'm going to break that phone over your head. And I'm going to be outside when the cops come. Just take me. I remember I used to practice my perp walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my prison pose.
That's right. Got to.
Yeah. I was ready.
So Ellsworth Tony Williams on LinkedIn says he hates being a downer, but his mom passed away 10 years ago from cancer. He's always a mental mess on Mother's Day. Sorry for your loss there, Tony. Appreciate you. And he also adds, is that a military retirement flag in the back of Lindsay and Linda's screen? What flag is that behind you guys?
It's the flag I got at my retirement from my police department.
All right. Well, I'm glad you made it out in one piece at least.
Me too.
Mostly in one piece. So you guys we were talking about real quick. Let me bring up some pictures here. Let's see. Merritt.
Said, oh no.
Yeah. No. Real quick. So Merritt, who's that? Who's this right here?
So that's my mother with her granddaughter, my daughter, Viviana, who is 5 years old. So we were just out walking, and thank you very much. So that's Mom Dukes right there. Very, very doesn't look like a hard knock, but she definitely is. She does not play.
Does not play. And then that's her back in the day.
Wow.
That's her back in the day. Yep.
A DMV police uniform.
And what's this one here?
So this is me walking out of the orphanage with my mom hand in hand. And this was actually on Mother's Day. I wrote her a poem about thanking her for what she did, which is, in a sense, saved my life. So.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I think we got one more of her.
Yeah, so this is the event of her, I think it's her promotion when she made corporal, and she was the first woman to be ranked in the department that she was in at the rank of corporal as a female.
All right. Yeah, that looks like so long ago. It looks like it's in black and white.
Yeah,
it is.
She got a revolver on her hip.
It says September 1977.
Wow. Yep. Wow. All right. Well, congratulations to your mom, and hats off to Mom. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. And then we got something for you, Lindsay and Linda Lou. It's a beautiful picture of you two. Where is this at?
That was actually at the NAACP Awards in Tempe in 2019.
All right. You got an award there. What'd you get the award for?
It was their First Responder Award. My partner and I, we both received that award for our officer-involved shooting that had happened the year prior.
Okay. And then we got one more here. That's Miss Linda
Looking
Lou.
gorgeous.
Looking gorgeous, looking professional.
That's
Got my
right.
good hair on.
With a capital L.
My good hair.
Looking good. All right.
Yeah.
But yes, we just wanted to share those of our moms.
Thank you.
And happy Mother's Day to you, Lindsay, as well. You a mother as well. So yes,
Thank
happy
you.
Mother's Day to you as well. You know, we love that. So what's the most admirable trait of your mother's, would you say? We'll start with you, Merritt. What's the most admirable trait of your mother?
The most admirable trait, her absolute resiliency. Yeah, resiliency and sacrifice. I can't pick one because even though they're both synonymous, but at the same time, they're different, right? Like you use resiliency to overcome a lot of hardship, but then you also have sacrifice at the same time when it comes to not only her job and what she did for the community here, but also what she did for me. So, you know, to take a child out of a different country and to provide for that child as if that child you birthed that child. I mean, that's love, you know, that's unconditional love. So there's a lot of people out here that have kids that, you know, don't take care of them.
Yep.
And that's just facts, you know? So, you know, you can be blood all you want, but that doesn't mean that doesn't make you family. So to me, you know, my mom is like, we are connected. Even though we're not blood, we are blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yes. Lindsay, what's a
Yes.
admirable trait for your mother?
Are you looking at me like that?
Better get this right.
She's like, you better come up with a good one.
Right.
After that,
Well, I would say it's my purpose. Right. See, thank you, Merritt. Now I got to follow you.
yeah.
That glowing review.
Make up something. Just make up something.
No, I would say my mom's perseverance. She's not the type to be told no, and she never let her being the only minority, no matter what it was, whether it was a female or black, like stop her from doing the things that she wanted to do, even if she was the only one in the room. So that's something I've always admired about her, whether she knows it or not, because she tries to act like she doesn't know it.
You're ungrateful.
So
You're ungrateful.
she says I'm ungrateful, but no, I would say her perseverance. I mean, she will go and go and go, and sometimes I have to pull her back sometimes because her perseverance just turns into I'm going to work myself into the ground. But it's definitely taught me a lot, and I would say that I definitely carried that into my career, and even being a mom. I have 2 kids, and kids don't let you stop. Even when I was injured, I could not stop. So that go, go, go.
Right. Right. Yeah.
You're welcome.
I agree.
Done what?
As she pays me under the desk.
Right.
Give me that back. Give me 10 back.
So as parents now, do you guys understand what your moms were trying to teach you growing up that you didn't want to hear? But now that you got the kids of your own, you guys realize what moms were telling us?
Tell her about Ella.
Yes, Jesus. Because I birthed myself,
She
apparently.
got a little girl that is exact, and I'm so grateful. Thank you, Lord. Her daughter is exactly like she was, and I just rejoice every time.
Payback,
I'm
huh?
curious. Well, I've had to ask her before, so I named her after
My mother, my
yes.
sainted mother.
So, and she came out looking just like my grandmother, which was crazy. We lost my grandmother in 2012, but she came out looking just like her. She does not act like her, I will tell you that. And anytime my mother will say, oh my goodness, like she is just like you. And I'm like, how did I make it out of toddlerhood? Like, I'm 41 years old. How did I make it this far? Because I love Ella so much. And her and my son are so different. My son, Liam, he's really easy. He just wants everybody to get along. And Miss Ella knows what she wants and what she doesn't want. And I've had to squat down and get eye to eye with her and say, Ella, be me with the world. but do not be me with me,
Yeah.
because we are going to bump heads
Yeah.
severely. And she's only 4.
She has to be
so y'all-
snatched up.
Y'all gonna have to pray for me.
Yeah.
So,
Somebody went to jail.
and I mean, I do hear a lot of the things my mom would tell us growing up. I will start saying those things, and then you have that pause when you're like, did I just say that to my
Sound
own
just
child?
like my mother.
Yep. Yep.
Stuff that you never said.
Hey, don't feel bad. Like about a month ago, I told my daughter, she made me so upset, and I was like, "I will destroy you."
What?
Listen,
Did she respond
was-
though? Because Ella, I say to Ella, what I said, who you talking to? And she said, you. And
No,
I got
yeah,
no.
that's-
These kids got
Yes.
too much sense.
Yeah,
But they
you,
can
you,
die
you got to make sure that they know who's boss though. So
Yeah, no doubt.
that's how we run it in my house. So yes, we appreciate
Do
that.
it. It's called parenting.
It's called parenting, exactly. Yeah, not just for the mamas, for the papas too, right, Merritt?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
trust me, I learned a lot, but I also, unfortunately, I learned what not to do. My mom, I think, and I don't know, Lindsay, if you can speak to this, but my mother never turned off police work. So give you an example. So my mom, if I said, "Hey mom, I'm going to go to so-and-so's house," right? And so-and-so's house was, I gave her a name, and it was, she would say, "Okay, well, what time are you going over there?" I'd say the time. And then she'd be like, is the parents going to be there? Yeah. So she'd wait like 20, 30 minutes later, and then she'd be like, "Hey, so I forgot. I really wasn't paying attention. Where are you going again? Where are you going again?" And I'm like,
Nice.
"I'm going to so-and-so's house."
Yeah.
And I would go through the same thing, right? And I'd be like, "Man, is my mom going nuts? Because she just asked. I just told her this." And then
It's
about
called
an hour
crime
and a
scene
half later,
investigation.
yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
that's what that is. Yep.
An hour and a half later, she did the exact same thing. It's just she would switch it up, and she did that
Yeah, I'm not
every
a
single
cop,
time.
and I
I
do
mean,
it.
yeah, it was always trying to see if my story was straight. Am I saying
Yeah.
the same things? I'm
You
like,
don't be
"Good Lord,
lying.
man."
You know you be lying. You know it. You know it. And we
See
know
what
you
detail?
lying. Yeah.
Come on. I'm as white as the driven snow. Come on, get out of here. Pure.
Pure.
Yeah.
He has never told a lie. He is pure. You leave him
Yeah,
alone.
like
Never.
you.
Never.
I wasn't
Never
having
told
it.
a
I'm
lie.
reading diaries. I
Yeah.
need to know what her diary is saying.
Well, my kids are still young. They're 4 and 7.
Yeah, they're
But
babies.
I feel like I will be like your mom, Merritt, and worse, especially now that we have technology on our hands.
Yep.
So my kids better watch out, because I'm going to slip a tracking device in them, or I'm going to show up in a ghillie suit in somebody's yard because you told me you were going to be one place and now you over here, and I'm not
Well.
afraid. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I volunteer at my son's school, and I have told him, the kids are tired of being with each other because the classes aren't mixing and mingling amongst the grades because of the virus. So they stay with their one class all day. So it's like a sibling on a road trip. By the end of the day, you are over them. And it's like, don't look at me, don't breathe near me. So there's a lot of busy energy when I come in the afternoons to help out. And Liam, he's gotten in trouble a time or two, and I took him aside at school and I said, "I'm gonna tell you right now, don't embarrass me up here at this school." I said,
Mhm.
"Because you have friends here, I don't, and I will embarrass you so much more. I expect you to act a certain way, and the way me and your father and everyone who I allow in your life expect you to behave, that's what I want to hear at school. I don't care if anybody else is cutting up. I want you to behave."
hmm
So when middle school and high school, he's gonna hate me, I feel like.
Yeah. No, that's what my mother said to us.
Mhm.
And that's what I said to you, and that's what you're saying to yours. And I think to be good parents, you have to pass it on. And I think there's a big disconnect recently with young people and their parents, where the kids are telling the parents what to do.
Mhm.
I'm gonna wish
No.
you would.
No.
I wish
Yeah.
you would.
No.
You're not
No.
paying any bills.
Ain't happening in this house.
You are.
Woo,
I've
Meredith,
been.
the doors
Yeah.
of the
Oh.
church are open. Lord, yes.
I keep a
That
black
drives
dress in
me.
case I gotta go to
Yeah.
a funeral. I keep a black dress.
Well, I've been on those calls, and I'm sure we all have been on those calls where you show up, and I mean, I remember this 14-year-old. I mean, he was cutting up, and I took him aside. I spoke with him, and well, first I spoke with the mother, and she told me the story, but the son kept interjecting, and so I let it happen a few times, thinking she's going to say something, but she didn't. So finally, I had to check her child. So then, when it's my turn to talk to him and hear his side of the story, the mother keeps interrupting, and I kind of had to stop, and I said, "Ma'am, no disrespect. This is where he's getting it from."
Right.
You know, I made him be quiet. And I said, and you're the adult. At him, and I said, do you pay a mortgage? And he says, no. I said, insurance, you know, cell phone, utilities, anything? He says, no. And I said, sweetheart, I hate to tell you this, but, and I've told my son this, you are under the age of 18, you cannot vote, and you cannot go into the military. So that means you don't count as a person until you can do those two things in my book. So you don't get to
Facts.
boss your mother around. You know, you don't get to, you're not paying any bills around here. And I told the mother, I said, you got to stop trying to be his friend. There was a lot going on in the home, so she was
Facts.
overcompensating. But you got to stop trying to be his friend, because that's just going to get you in a bad place. And, you know, I say things to my son, and he's looking at me like, I haven't even done that. I'm like, well, in case you do,
Mhm.
Mhm.
you already know how it's going to go down.
You can't be friends with you can't be friends with your children. Me and her not even friends right now.
Nope.
Not friends.
You don't say.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
That's it. My mom be like, I ain't your plaything. And I'll be like, whatever.
I'm
You
not
my
having
Mm-mm.
bestie. I don't care what you say. You my
Yes.
bestie. You don't care.
Yeah, I find myself saying a lot of stuff that my mother used to say to me back when I was younger. When I was cutting up, she used to say, as long as you black and you living in my house, you will do
That's
X,
right.
Y, and Z. Yeah, like,
Yep.
I can't change the black part, but you know, and I guess at 10, 11, whatever age I was, yeah, I wasn't about to change the living conditions either. So, yes, Mama, I will abide by what you say. So, yes,
You need to take
yeah.
home a roll of crime scene tape, and every time they cut up, you strike their room with that crime scene tape. Does it remind you of that crime scene tape?
Yeah, like you can't come in here.
Can't come in here.
Uh,
Crime done happened.
Yep.
about to be a crime up in here. Yes.
Crime,
Right.
I wanna acknowledge real quick on YouTube. I know this is a fine young man that Elizabeth and I work with. He just lost someone. Yes, he just lost someone special to him. So this is going to be a very hard Mother's Day for him. But I appreciate you, my brother, and keep up. Thank you for joining us on the show here, and thank everybody for joining us wherever you are right now. Let's move this on and Merritt, real quick. I want to ask you. So they say that men kind of look for women that kind of mirror their mother. That's the kind of mate that they look for. Is that true? Is that what you were kind of looking for? Any of those traits that your mom had? Is that, or is it the other way around? Did that kind of turn you off on a mate?
Man, if my wife was here, she'd tell you, she'd say yes to that question, but at the same time, she'd hate that question because she thinks that I compare her in a way to my mother. And those are all like the negative qualities. So so then it becomes like more adversarial in those aspects. So no, I did not look for traits that my mom had because I did not want to be policed by any potential wife or girlfriend. Trust me, I did not want to do that. But what's interesting is when you ask that is that I was told by a very smart therapist one day. He said to me, he goes, Merritt, he goes, kids, so boys end up marrying their moms and girls end up marrying their dads. And it's not because they look for them, it's because the similarities of certain characteristics that is impressed upon or imprinted on the child as they grow up, those are things that are subconsciously still there when they end up looking for a mate. And they
Right.
may not even know it. They don't know. I had no clue. So there are similarities that, so not, and this is not at all throwing my wife under the bus. She's not the most, she's a clean person, but she's not the most organized person. And my mom, when I grew up, it was organized chaos, right? Single mom going to the job. She couldn't just be clean freak all day long. It had to be organized chaos. So for her,
Yeah.
so my wife has the exact same thing. My first time in dealing with my wife, my first act of love to her was to literally organize her closet and her shoes and her linen closet, because for me, I was like, oh my God, how can you live like this? Like, this is not, because to me, my brain, and this is most cops, right? We're type A. We're type A in a lot of different areas. So for me, organization was that. Like, if things aren't in their place, oh my God, man. Like, in my head, I just start going crazy because I've lived with my mom,
I
and
do.
who my mom wasn't like that. My mom wasn't organized. And so
Yeah.
maybe subconsciously I ended up being with somebody that was the same way. So that's an
Yeah.
example.
All right. Lindsay, did you kind of look for the same kind of person that your mama looked for, meaning your dad?
So what's funny about that is I didn't realize until I had been married for a few years that I did marry my
He
father.
did. He's exactly
That's
like he is.
not something I set out to do. Um, but the thing about my dad was my dad always made me feel protected. Made me feel like if anybody, and my grandfather too, especially on my mom's side of the family, like if anybody messed with me, it was going to be a problem. And so my husband has those qualities. And what I like is when people meet my husband who knew my father. I have cousins in the Bay Area who met my husband and they were like, oh my goodness. His middle name was Anthony and they call him Uncle Tony. And they said, he reminds me of Uncle Tony so much. And then I'll meet other longtime friends of the family or introduce my husband to other longtime friends of the family, and they say the same thing. So that makes me feel good knowing that I picked someone that has those positive qualities that people remembered about my father. And my husband does make me feel protected. If anybody messes with me, it's going to be a problem. And he's a fantastic father to our kids, the same way, my dad was with us. And my son, when he was about 3 years old, somebody bought him like a little baby doll carrier for Christmas because my mother-in-law bought him a Cabbage Patch Kid. And so he would wear his baby carrier with this Cabbage Patch in it all the time. But my daughter was also an infant. So he was mimicking what he saw my husband doing. And my son saw Black Panther, so you could not tell him he was not the Jabari, okay, the mountain trump, right? So he's walking around the house with this walking stick my husband made him, hoo, ha, and he's wearing the baby. And I just thought it was funny that he was doing that. And I took a picture and I remember posting it on Facebook and somebody asking me, well, why is he playing with that baby doll? Which is funny because my dad had given my youngest brother a baby doll one time, and somebody asked the same thing. And my mom was like, well, boys don't always need to play with trucks. If they're going to have a family one day, they should know how to pretend to be a father. And I said, I love that picture of my son with that walking stick and wearing his Cabbage Patch because he's mimicking what he sees at home. He sees his father who will do anything to protect his family and provide for his family. And he's a nurturer. He takes care of his kids. So that's probably one of my favorite pictures of my son. And I'm glad my husband was able to pass those traits on to my son so early.
Yes.
That's
At first,
so
I thought you
cute.
said he was going to be, he's mimicking your husband because he's walking around like the Black Panther in the house or something like
Well, if you met my husband, he'll walk around a whole bunch of stuff. Sometimes I tell people, I say I love my husband very much, but sometimes I feel like I'm a single mother of three. One brings home a paycheck. So my kids can never say they have not had a good time with their father because he does all the silly daddy stuff.
He's your father.
And the same way my father did. And I think,
way.
but I think as parents and married, maybe I don't know how you are with your little girl, but when you have kids, you get to relive your childhood, like all the toys and the silliness and stuff like that. And when they're young, that's when you really get to bond and like kind of instill some of those qualities in them when they're super tiny. And people don't realize that. I don't care how small a child is, they're absorbing everything. I mean, everything.
Everything. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
For me, I love that, Lindsay. I love you brought that up, because when I'm sitting there thinking about my daughter, they talk about, okay, well, you have a daughter, it's different than having a boy, which it is. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that you're parenting any different in the sense of wanting to instill certain things, right? Core values in your kids. And so for my daughter, one of the things that I want to instill in her, and she's biracial, so she's Black and Latin, right? So one of the things I want to instill in her is that, listen, like, there's going to be times in life that you're not going to get what you want. It's not because of anything other than the fact is you got to go out and you got to figure out why you didn't get it and work hard to get it. And one of the phrases I always tell her, I said, if you don't ask, what? And she'll finish it. She'll be like, Poppy, if I don't ask, I don't get. And I go, yeah, because I want to raise a woman who is somebody who speaks up for herself. And I also preach to her leadership qualities. I talk to her about leadership all the time and stuff that deals with leadership, even if it's little things in the classroom. Like when little kids get picked on or somebody says something, she'll come home to me and she'll be like, Poppy, little Oliver, they call him little Oliver, and I don't like that because it doesn't make him feel good. And so she sticks up for little Oliver, and she'll scream or yell at the other kids that have done it. So, so to me, those are all markers of things that, obviously those are affirmations and verifications that whatever you do, whatever you say, whatever that value is at that home, those kids are going to be literally watching and catching everything that you do more so than what you say. Because if you don't act those things out, those kids are going to be like, man, you're a bunch of BS right now because you're saying it, but I don't see it.
Yep.
Exactly.
So if you don't instill those core values from an action standpoint, then yeah. And the last thing that I do with her that I had to figure out and had to really, I'm kind of a nerd in certain ways, but I read about nurturing and proper, certain things. But with her, what I wanted to do is I wanted to make her feel like, okay, how does a man treat you? Because today's day and age, boys do not know what chivalry is. They have no clue what that is. And so my daughter at 5 years old, we go out on Poppy daughter dates, and I will dress her up and I will take her out, and she gets embarrassed because I'll say, girlfriend, and then she'll be like, Poppy, don't embarrass me. And so but I'll go to the door, to the car door, or even just a regular door, and I'll say, what does a gentleman do for a princess? And she'll say, open the door. I say, what else does a gentleman do? What if you have something heavy? What does a gentleman do? And she'll finish it and say, he carries it. So all of these little things at 5 years old, and it's the same thing with my mom. My mom, back circle, right? Back around to my mom. When I was little, I remember my mom would literally stop in front of a door and wait for me to come and open it for her. She would and that was training me on how to treat not only a princess, but a future queen, right? So those are all things that are instilled from the day they're born till, 5, 6. Those are the very, very sponge years.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you don't get a child by the time they're 5 years old, you're going to lose them. Because trying to tell a 13-year-old what they can and cannot do, and you didn't do it their entire life, you really have to start very early. Because I remember I paddled these Pampers till they were 2. Because, if you beat them on the butt with a Pamper, it doesn't leave a mark. I'm just letting y'all know. For all the mothers out there.
Yeah, right.
But we popped those little hands because I didn't have children for 4 years. Me and my husband were married, so I had little glass things all over the house, little knickknacks. And people would say when I got pregnant with her, "What are you going to do? Put up all your nice stuff?" I said, "No, because when I bring her to your house, you're not going to put your stuff up. So what I'm going to do is paddle the back of that hand, because kids don't believe." Don't sting. You got to keep, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Pop that hand, pop that butt. And by the time they're 2, they got some sense, but children are fully formed personality wise by age 5. And then from
Right.
that point on, it's maintenance. It's just maintenance, reminding them that this is what you do and this is what you don't do. This is what I expect and what I don't expect from you. But these people trying to control kids at 10, 11, you can't do it. It's too late.
Oh,
You've already lost that child.
We've seen it on calls. I'm sure y'all
Yeah,
you
I know
Yep.
y'all have.
you've
Yep.
all seen it on calls. But
It's
my
too
my
late now.
son Merritt, he does the same thing. You know, anytime he if we have female company, he even the babysitter, he says she looks like Wonder Woman as he bats his eyes. So he's like, I'm gonna walk Wonder Woman out to the car.
He's
And
disgusting.
so he will walk our female guests to the car every day, every morning when it's time to
What?
leave for school. He opens the door for his sister and makes sure she gets in the car properly. He will ask women at the grocery store, like, "Hey, you know, can I carry those groceries for you?" And but again, like Merritt was saying, if you're not doing it, the kids aren't going to do it. But these are things that he sees my
In the house.
my husband do, and that's how my husband was raised by my mother-in-law as well. So those are fantastic
Yeah,
qualities.
and I noticed when I watched Liam, he was swiping at 9 months old because all the adults around him was swiping. So he would pick up Nana's phone and he'd swipe. And this is at 9 months old. So can you imagine how much that kid has absorbed? Because remember, Liam's first word was
Yeah.
a bad word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my fault.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His first word was an F word. Yeah.
It's my fault. Sorry.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
so you have to be very careful around them while you're training them, but you can't. You have to change some of your behaviors also, because they're like sponges. They absorb everything, and then all of a
Everything.
sudden they'll just spit it out,
Mhm.
embarrass you in church
Yep.
with that one word you've been saying. And
Yep.
what can you say?
Yeah. Because you've been saying it all day at home.
You've been
So
Yeah.
can't say nothing. Can't say nothing. Can't say nothing. So, Lindsay and Merritt, how did your moms prepare you for a career in law enforcement? How do you
You can
think
go
they
ahead,
prepared you?
Who do
Um,
you want to go first, Dale?
Let her go first. Because you always got a great story, Merritt. Let her go first. We can't ever come behind you.
No, I mean, I feel like, you know, like my mom said earlier, she was in the, you know, she's been in the music industry for some time now. And I think watching my mother work in a male dominated field, I mean, I think that's definitely one of the things that prepared me for law enforcement. And anything she did, it wasn't a matter of, oh, well, I'm female, or, you know, I'm smaller than everybody else, or I'm black, or anything like that. It was, I'm here, I got the skills, and who's going to tell me no? You know, and my mother used to tell me, Merritt said something a little bit ago that reminded me of something my mom always told me is, you know, the worst thing somebody could tell you is no. So when I went, you know, I got to the police department, you know, we know that there's not nearly as many females in law enforcement as there are male, but I walked in the room like I belonged there. And, you know, I love working with the guys I worked with, especially in Georgia, because that Southern chivalry is there. Even though I went through the same academy they went through, you know, I couldn't change a tire. Sometimes, you know, if somebody called me a name, they got big brother syndrome and everything. So, and it was nice, but sometimes I'd have to tell them, hey, I don't need all that. I got the same training you have. I appreciate it. But I mean, I just watching my mother work with artists and people thinking less of her sometimes because she was a female, or figuring she was the secretary or something like that, not knowing that she went to law school for contracts and she can read a contract with her eyes closed better than some people can with both eyes open. So she was a sleeper cell a lot of times. And that's kind of what I like to be. And I tell people, I said, listen, don't let my suburban middle class upbringing fool you, or this smile and my gift of gab.
Look
I
at
said,
that.
because if you know, if you cross me the wrong way, the bite's gonna hurt, and
we will turn up.
I'll do it with a smile, because that's how she taught me.
Yeah. Let
You
me cut in for a minute. Lindsay grew up. See, when I did everything that men did. I played basketball in high school, and then when I went to college, I decided to major in stage lighting, which there were no females doing that. And I was his first sports editor for Howard University's yearbook. I would always choose stuff that people told me I couldn't do. And that's what I kind of instilled in her. Just do it. Just go and do it. And you've always persevered and you've done well
Well, I appreciate that.
because of it.
Well, listen, and if somebody told me no, my mama was gonna come up there.
Oh, yeah.
So
Don't not give my baby no gold stars. Remember I bought a whole sheet of gold stars?
well, that probably wasn't the best thing.
That
to
probably
do,
wasn't the best
so,
thing,
but,
but I'm kidding.
so,
Ah,
but yeah, so I think I mean, those things really carried me through my career, and even in the motherhood, same thing. Just having to keep pushing and make your own way in different spaces.
yeah. All right. And Merritt, how'd your mom prepare you?
I think she prepared me with some of the stories I told you about as far as interrogation skills. But no, seriously, one of the things that she always used to tell me is you can't quit anything, right? Quitting is such a normal thing these days that we see. My mom was like, nah, you quit, you make a commitment, you say yes to something, you make a commitment. So that was part of it, right? Because I think what's happening, and not to belabor this, but what's happening today in law enforcement is we're seeing a lot of officers leaving, and for good reason in a lot of ways. But at the same time, the good men and women that are leaving a gap for a lot of other craziness to happen. So I would say, and this is kind of my PSA announcement, but I would say to those law enforcement officers to stay, because at some point you're going to be needed in order to help change the fabric of what's going on within that community instead of leaving. So with that, my mom was always a big proponent of like, no, you don't quit. Even if it's something you don't like to do, even if it's something you're not happy with, you stay and you grind it out. And so that was preparing me for something that, obviously in law enforcement, there's a lot of that. I mean, you guys can attest to the fact is some of these calls on the streets, man, law enforcement is not what you see on TV. It is not this glorious, sexy, chasing a bad guy every shift, doing this, doing that. I mean, sometimes even in the inner city, it's not every day, but at the same time, your law enforcement career is something like for you, Lindsay, I don't know when that shooting took place. I have no clue how it happened. I would love to know, because a lot of times when people get into officer involved shootings, it's not something that they just expected. It's not something that they were like, even on a call that could be dangerous. It's not, they're prepared mentally, but even in that, you didn't quit. And even in that, everything about law enforcement is about not quitting. You don't quit up on the community. You don't quit on yourself when you get into a fight. You don't quit on your partner because you don't like your partner, so therefore you're not going to back them up. And you don't quit on anything that you do within law enforcement, because that ultimately is going to be a reputation that you're going to have. That's going to be a reputation that most people are going to be like, why do I want Merritt? Like, all he's going to do is he's going to be in the background. He's not going to want to do anything. And I don't even know if this person has my back. So to me, that's what really came up when I thought about that question, is that, my mom taught me to never quit. And I always took that into athletics when I played college basketball. I always took that into every process that I put in for when I was in law enforcement. And I take that into everything now. And that right there is a core value for me, is that you don't quit just because times get hard. If anything, you have to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
100%.
Facts. Need some prize there for that. Yeah. All right. I appreciate all that everybody said here today. That was some good stuff. We thank you, mamas, for being good mamas and raising good kids and doing all that. That's you, Lindsay and Linda. Yes, give Mama Linda a little big hug and a kiss. And Mary, you do the same for your mama when you see her. But we are not done. We got a little something for you for Pride here. We're gonna play a game with y'all. So
Uh-oh.
yes. So get ready here. This is for Pride. This game here we're gonna call Who's This Mama? Who's this mama? So what's gonna happen is Elizabeth is gonna read some clues one by one, and all you gotta do is just try to pick out who she's trying to say who it is. Your name is your buzzer. So for you, Lindsay and Linda Lou, just you can say your last name, and for you, Merritt, you can say Merritt. And this is for Pride. So the team that gets the most will win this game. So let's start it out. Your first mom number one. Go ahead, Lizzie.
All right, so mom number one, here are the clues. Butterfly, high note, known as the Queen of Christmas.
Go ahead,
Long.
Lindsay. Go ahead.
Mariah Carey.
Okay.
Mariah Carey
Yes.
is correct. That is correct. Mariah Carey, yes. Yes.
Good job. Good job.
Good job. Let me mark these actually. We
Never
got the
would've got that.
yeah, you would have.
I got it. I'll mark
All right.
it.
Yeah, you got it. Okay.
I was thinking of the beavers. The
Yeah.
What?
beaver. I was like, butterfly.
Yeah, leave
high
the
note.
beaver, but
No, no.
All
right.
right, here we go. Mom number two, Jewish, notorious, women's rights, judge.
Tupac. Merritt.
Tupac.
Tupac.
I was gonna say
We're talking
Biggie.
about mama.
That's it.
Judge. Oh, Ruth
I was
Bader
gonna say
Ginsburg.
Biggie.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yes.
Yes.
I couldn't say it because I was laughing. He said
Yeah.
two.
He said Tupac. I was gonna say
I was
Biggie.
thinking of I was on the civil rights track. I was thinking of Afeni Shakur, and then I was
Wow.
like,
I love it.
we talking about moms here. Moms here, man.
my bad.
All right, I got it.
Mom number three, here we go. Borderline, Lucky Star, Dick Tracy, Like a Virgin.
Long.
Merritt.
Long.
Madonna.
Long.
Oh,
Long got
Madonna.
it. Yes, that is correct. It is Madonna.
Why am I failing all the music stuff?
I don't know.
Right? Mama Linda Lou, you worked in that industry. You better be
I
all
know.
on knees, right?
I don't know
So-
these
so-
people.
2-1.
Do
All
some
right, here
rap
we go.
art.
Number four, Colombian, The Fugees, Belly Dancer, Whenever,
Long.
Wherever.
Merritt.
Long.
Merritt.
Go ahead.
Shakira.
Yes.
That is correct.
What? Stop looking at me like
Why are you
that.
showing me up though?
Come on.
She knows it. Yes. All right, here's your next mom. They killing you,
Number
Merritt.
five.
Get in here, Merritt. You
Mom
gotta get
number
I
be
know.
five.
faster. Be faster.
All right, here we go. Claire, 80s TV,
Long.
Merritt.
famous dance.
Long.
Merritt.
Felicia Rashad.
It is
Yes.
I could have got that.
Hold
I
on.
went to college with
Is my mic
Felicia.
working? Can you guys even hear me right now?
Felicia and I went to college together at Howard in drama together.
You should have got
I
that.
thought I should have got it. We went to school together.
Shame. Shame.
All right, Mary, you got to be faster. Be
Good
faster.
deal.
They killing you, Mary. They killing you.
I'm just saying M from
Eric.
now on.
I knew
Okay.
to clarify.
Mama number six, A Different World, Set It Off,
Lisa Bonet.
Tupac,
Oh,
Um,
What's your name? Stop.
McCall.
No, that's
Red
That's
Table, Fresh Prince.
Jada.
Mary
Yes.
did get that. Mary did get that.
Yes.
Jada Smith.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
All right.
You got another
Mama
one on the board,
number
Mary.
7.
Okay.
Chicago, Lawyer,
Ellen
Ellen DeGeneres.
Go
Okay.
ahead, Mary. Go ahead, Mary.
I heard Chicago. I immediately thought Queen Latifah. No.
Now you locked out. You locked out, Mary. The rest of all the clues are for for the ladies now. Go ahead.
Michelle
Okay.
Obama.
Author, yes.
That is Michelle Obama.
Who waited?
She's not in the record business.
How did you?
No way.
You should have known the other
I
one.
know, right?
What's the score,
Next
Lizzie?
one, number
What's the score?
Okay.
What's the score,
so we
Lizzie?
have
We winning. We winning.
5 for Long and 2 for Merit.
All right, you still got time to catch up. We got a few more. Mom number 8.
All right, here we go. Mom number 8. Sussex, England, Harry, Oprah interview.
Long.
Um,
Long.
Megan.
Meghan Markle.
Yes.
Yes,
All
Meghan
right.
Markle.
Yeah.
You look just like Leo.
Mom number 9. Here we go. You still got a chance, Mary. You still got a chance.
All
You got to
right,
get all
all
these
right.
stuff.
No, he doesn't.
The 1950s. Comedian. Redhead. Desilu.
oh,
Cuban
Long.
husband.
M.
M.
Lucy
Merritt.
Ball.
Merritt.
Lucy
Yes.
Yes.
They got a movie coming out about her too.
Oh, really?
Yep. Lucille
All
Ball.
right. Number 10. Bring It On. Cousin of the rapper Sweetie. Oh, M. Merritt.
Is that Queen Latifah?
You,
Why is everything Queen Latifah?
everything
with
Queen
me right
Latifah,
now?
man.
I love it.
I
don't
guess
even
I have
remember.
you. I have the
You know
song, the
Queen
whole song.
Latifah
You and
doesn't
my
have any
T-Y.
kids.
It
Yeah,
doesn't.
Queen
I don't
Latifah. I
know.
know the mother.
She's
I-
not a mom.
Who is it, Lindsay?
Listen,
Keep
for
going
some
with the
reason, yeah.
Daddy's
with the
little
clues, go.
girl.
Long.
Mary
You didn't
Jane. Long.
Gabriel Union.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I knew.
I knew it
with
from
Idris
Bring It In.
Elba. I knew it from Idris.
I knew it
Great
from-
Daddy.
Yeah,
I know
when you
it's
said
her.
Daddy's little girl, yeah. Not
Yeah,
Queen
it just-
Latifah, Merritt. Not Queen Latifah.
No.
Okay, the next mom is not Queen Latifah. I promise you.
All right. All right. Good.
Okay. Number 11, Money Train. Ain't It Funny? Sean Combs.
Long.
Long.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yes.
Good job. I have
What
no
you
clue.
doing, Linda
I
Lou?
don't know
What you
what.
doing,
I don't
Linda
know
Lou?
none of these music
Come
people.
on.
Should
You
be,
don't know they
it
live.
should
You just know
be
they
me and Miss me and Miss Long versus me, just me and her.
Right, exactly.
Lindsay,
Next
Lindsay,
time
you
it's
need to
gonna
be
be
out
Mary.
of the game.
I need some cop questions. Do some cop questions. I'd probably do better.
Okay, mom number 12. It's not Queen Latifah. Here we go. Compton. Richard. Wimbledon. Venus.
Long.
Serena.
Long.
Serena Williams.
Yes.
Killing me.
Killing you.
Like,
Killing
Few
me.
more. Few more.
All right. Got 3 more.
Just for pride, Merritt. Just for pride. Come
All
on.
right. Hey, listen, I said I don't quit. I don't quit. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Number 13, 911. Black Panther Queen. Courtney B. Vance. Tina Turner.
Long.
Long.
Go ahead.
I'm your
Ang-
partner.
Angela Bassett. She fed me the answer.
Yes.
Hey, she can jump in there. You guys are a team.
I
She
know
don't
her.
have to feed you
I'm
the
good,
answer.
I'm good. I told her.
I just feed you the answer. You got it. You hit the buzzer. We don't have
All right,
to
come
do
on.
well, we
Come
have
on.
one.
Couple more. Here we go.
Number
Okay.
14. One of her sons is married to someone previously mentioned. First name is the same as Wonder Woman's real name. Paparazzi. Princess. Traffic accident.
Mm.
Anybody? Going once. Going
Long?
twice.
Something
Long.
tail.
Go ahead, Long.
Princess Diana.
Yes.
Who's she married to?
No, one of her
Her son.
sons.
Oh,
Yeah, she said one of
the
her sons.
ginger one.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
The ginger.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, for the last one. Arguably
Mary.
the most well-known mother in the world. Humanitarian. Nobel Peace Prize.
ahead, Mary.
Mother
Yeah,
Teresa.
go ahead.
Gotta
Yes.
be Mother
Yes.
Teresa.
I knew it. It was Mother Teresa. I knew it.
Mother Teresa. Yes.
Yeah, but she says the most.
Hey,
well-known
I
mother.
ended on that. I ended on
Yeah.
that note. Come on. Hey, good job,
All
Yeah.
right.
guys.
You did a good job, but Lindsay and Linda Lou.
Do is win,
You know,
They the winners.
Hey, Oh, I was still dancing. I was sorry, my bad.
Yes. Round of applause for y'all. Yes.
Yeah.
Great job, everybody. All right. Thank you. Thank you for coming on today. We appreciate everything you do for us ladies. This Mother's Day. Had a great show. I loved Linda Lou and you guys' relationship. Just too much. I love it. Thank you. Anything you guys want to say on the way out to our viewers? Go ahead, Lindsay and Linda Lou.
I just want to thank everybody for watching the show and supporting you all's podcast. It's a podcast I came across earlier this year, and I do enjoy you all's take on things in your interviews. And I want everybody to have a fantastic weekend with your family, friends, loved ones, whoever, whether you're a parent or not. And I would like to say hello to my husband and my guys, and I can't wait to get home to see you.
All right.
What she said.
What she said. All right, Merritt.
My message is just, keep striving. And honestly, mothers, if it weren't for mothers, I'll tell you what, man, this world would be definitely a whole different place. The fact that we have women that are so resilient, whether you're single, whether you're married, regardless, I'll tell you, mothers are the most fantastic people. They teach not only our kids, but they teach ways on how to live life through their actions and their resiliency. So I'm just honored to be here. Lindsay and Miss McCall, the fact that you guys went through, I'm sure that was such a ridiculous situation. The fact that you survived from that shooting, the fact that you're here walking, that you're here taking care of your kids, and you're doing all these things, that to me, you're a superhero. And Miss McCall, you should be proud of that because you're the one that bred that superhero. So I'm so thankful to be here. Thank you for having me, Dale, Elizabeth, and to my mom. When you do see this, it's all love. I love you. I care about you so much. You've been such a sacrificial example of what I need to be for those that I take care of.
Amazing.
Amen. Thank you. Wow, that was really dope. I love that. What we did here today. Yes, we are coming out here.
I'd rather be by myself.